How's it going? Sorry I'm late. Computer decided to do a systems update right as I was getting on. Hope everyone's good. Oh, hope it's been a good week for everyone. Looking forward to getting in and talking some absolute nonsense as always. How you doing, Unknown Edits? You are becoming the first person here quite often, and I appreciate you. How are you, sir? How's your week been? Hope you're having a good one. How you doing, Paradox? What's good, bro? Hmm. How you doing, Bomb? What's good, man? I've just realized my camera is mirrored, which is irritating me, but never mind. Hey, I've missed you guys too, man. I was gonna come on last night, but I got back from work like way too late, so um just decided to wait until today, and I'm glad I did, even though my camera's all over the place right now. I just looked at the odds on Gamrot and they're so shit. I wanted a good bet on him. I assumed he was gonna be a heavy underdog as well. So I'm staying away from that too. I don't even know where I'm gonna lay my bets down this weekend. I've been on a little bit of a losing streak as well, so I feel like I'm in the midst of one of my. I've told you guys about my betting as it goes sometimes. Like, I'll go on hot streaks of like 10, 11, 12 weeks, and then I'll do the exact same in cold streaks. So I'm right in the middle of a nasty one right now. So I'm feeling like if I want Gamrot to win, I need to bet on Charles Oliveira. So that might be exactly what I'm going to do. But considering Oliveira is the favorite, I'm probably going to go for him. Or sorry, the underdog. I'm going to go for him anyway. I think in a fight where it's very 50-50, you've got to pick the guy with the better. I thought he'd be plus 200 as well. The guy's coming in. Hang on a second, guys. I'm having trouble with this fucking connection. Give me a sec. All right, I've reset my device now. Hopefully this will be better. And Gamrot is very cursed. Well, I mean, outside of the loss to Dan Hooker, where I thought he actually won, I think he's had a pretty good showing in the UFC. I thought he's generally performed. There we are. Camera's back where it should be. We're back, boys. Olive's never lost in Brazil. Nobody's ever lost their next fight after losing to Top Turo. Very good point. I think I said the same thing on my last stream. And again, that makes me more inclined to go for Oliveira. I think with the odds, the fact that he's only had 2 weeks' notice, I'm probably going to bet on Oliveira. But I really want Gamrot to win, and I think a full camp Gamrot would get it done. So it's a very confusing one. I might stay away from the main event entirely. I have realized though it is actually a very, very good card. I didn't realize it was as good as it is. So I'm generally looking for the whole the card on not to break the curse. I've been going back and forth on this the whole time. The only reason I actually think Gamrot is in a better position in his career right now, and I think he's very underrated. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of those unfortunate ones who gets like bundled in as being boring because he's got a little bit of a wrestling style. When has Gamrot had a shit fight? When has he ever had a terrible, boring, horrible performance? Almost never. And yet he gets bundled in as like boring and people hate on the guy. I don't get it. He doesn't take people down and lay and pray. I don't get where all this hatred comes from. I really don't. So I think I might because the thing is, yeah, it's like usually I bet on fights where I'm not really that interested in who wins or loses. I'm just looking for a little bit of value. This fight has value to me, so I don't feel like I have to bet on it in order to watch it and enjoy it. Because I feel like either outcome produces narratives that we want to see. I do think it's better for the division if Gamrot wins, though. Hello, Frank. I'm still at work, sadly. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I have had one of the shittest weeks at work that I've ever had. But I'm still here, still trucking, and I've only got one more week left of work, and then I've got 2 weeks off. So that's what I love about my job. The holidays come in thick and fast. Today was actually all right. I had to go home early. I had to go home like an hour and a half early, though, because my kid got into a little altercation at school. He's in year 1, right? So he's 5 years old, and he got smacked in the head by a year 5 kid. So the kid must be 10, 11, like twice his age. So the only solution here, ladies and gentlemen, is to find that kid and to whoop his dad's ass. I can't really see any other outcome that would be fair in this situation. Now, chances are I'm going to bump into his dad, and I'm going to be the 5-year-old version, and his dad's going to be the 10-year-old version. But we've got to get that ass. We've got to get that ass whooping at least attempted. I feel like there is no other solution to this situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. So, unknown edits. My day was actually fine at work, but then obviously seeing my son's entire ear bruised made me want to smash. So I've got some unpent rage in me. Hopefully his dad is half my size and I can just soccer kick him across the playground. But it's got to go down one way or the other. So next time you see me, your boy might have a bruised ear to match my son's. Hopefully that won't be the case. But this fucker at least has got to get something, because you need to learn how to raise your kids with a little bit more integrity. So someone's got to give this guy an ass whooping. I mean, what fucking 10-year-old smacks a 5-year-old in the head? If Figgy isn't completely shot, he should win. Who's Figgy fighting? Who is he fighting? This is an excellent... I've forgotten. As far as I... Oh, no, he's fighting Ayman Zahabi, right? Always bully guy. Father is bully as well. Bomb, thing is here, I tried to put my boy into... I told this story a couple of weeks ago. I tried to put my boy into a mixed martial arts class when he was 4. And he absolutely misunderstood the situation and just ran around kicking everyone. I was so proud. But it just showed me that he's probably not ready for the discipline. But that was like 6 months ago, so maybe he's ready now. Also, Raja pled not guilty. How the fuck's he doing that? The idiot was dumb enough to film the before, the during, and the after. There is no pleading guilty, bro. I do think he's going to avoid jail time, though. But I don't really know how the American system works. There's a few... Well, he's 5 now, so maybe... I still don't think he's ready, but we've got to do something, because it feels like every week he's getting into some kind of altercation. Oh, it's Montel Jackson. Figueiredo beats him. What are the odds for that fight? Because I might sprinkle some money on... Figueiredo's a goddamn former champion, and he's a beast. I never really liked him too much at bantamweight. I never really thought it was that good an idea. But still, I think Figueiredo beats Montel Jackson. I don't think Montel Jackson's that good. What is your small one interested in? He likes Transformers. I don't know how that's going to help him on the playground. Joel Alvarez could get checked. I need to check. Hang on, while we're here, yeah, because I've realized, yeah, I only had like a little glance through the card. So before I give my unfiltered opinion on this, I need to make sure what the fuck I'm talking about. Hang on a sec. Let's do this properly. You can tell here I'm not really a serious MMA YouTuber. Not that I ever was. I can't even say off the top of my head who's fighting who. Good time to not gamble, in my opinion. You think this card's a little bit of a dodgy one, yeah? See, I've got a Figgy as a plus 260 underdog. Ooh, I think I've got to get me some of that. This could be a good night for a Charles Oliveira. A Charles Oliveira and Figueiredo double. It's normal to fight when you're 5 years old, but not with kids twice your age. I think what's happening here is he likes to play fight a little bit, and I think these bigger kids are, are getting involved in roughhousing a little bit too much. But either way, man, you gotta have some common sense. If you're 10 years old, you know better. Bro's got to have the most Jewish lawyer ever. I mean, that's got to be the move. I mean, I'm glad you said it before I did, because that's got to be. He's 12. Montel Jackson is minus 300. I'm seeing on here that on my betting app, Charles Oliveira and Gamrot are evens. It's a pick'em, so that might put me back on the side of Gamrot. Plus 260 is mad though. I'm locking that in live right now. So I'm dashing Figgy on there, and I'm gonna dash Gamrot on there. Luan Lacerda, Simon Oliveira, both not very good in my opinion. Vitor Petrino's probably going to beat Thomas Peterson. I mean, he looks like he should beat him, if you know what I'm saying. Lucas Almeida and Michael Aswell. I don't remember being very impressed with Michael Aswell. Joel Alvarez is going to beat Vicente Luque. Yeah, this doesn't look like a good card to bet on at all. Those are the only two I can see. I might have to do that as a double, I'm not betting on Joel Alvarez at minus 500. You can fuck right off. I think a Figueiredo and Gamrot double is where I'm going to go. I think that's going to be my pick for the evening. Thoughts on Conor McGregor? He's a fucking idiot. I released a short about it from my last live the other day, and naturally everybody in the comments was like, "Say that to his face." It's a different conversation. Of course, I'm not going to say it to his face. You really think he'd entertain a nobody like me? Simon Oliveira weighed in 8 pounds overweight. Shit, that's not even a trying. My guy did not even try. That tickles my fancy. I'm not 8 pounds is ridiculous. What's the odds on for him? Simon Oliveira. I've noticed the card on is on a little bit early tomorrow. I like that. Where is Simon Oliveira? And he's a heavy underdog. Ooh. Yeah, I think there's some. Mate, my kid already targets the balls. Whenever we play fight, he goes straight to punch me in the balls, and I didn't even teach him that. So he's clearly smarter than I was at that age. The card looks all right. What's next for Poatan? It's got to be Tom Aspinall, bro. But it seems to me, yeah, like he's avoiding that fight. I'm starting to think he might be a bit smarter than I realized. Calling out John Jones makes all the sense in the world, the more that I think about it. Because you get that legacy fight and you get a very winnable matchup. So I think he goes guns. I think he goes balls out for John Jones. And they do it at heavyweight, at like a reasonable weight. I don't think they're both going to be like. I think they'll do it at heavyweight, but they'll both be in and around 240 pounds. Or John Jones will try to come in there fat as fuck and just out beef him. There's a fighting nerd on the card. Nah, no one cares anymore. The whole fighting nerd thing is over. In fact, when you see those glasses now, there's no more aura. It's just all the aura's gone. I still think Prates is going to be good, and I still think Gene Silver's going to be good, but the rest of them, who gives a shit? They're letting everyone on that team. They got white people on that team and everything. Like the aura is gone. That's probably where they fucked it up. As soon as they let Mikhail Oleksiejczuk in the building, it's like that white soy energy has just ruined the situation. And I'm not even saying Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is soy, but you can't fuck up the dynamics like that. Young age, the nose shot hurts more than anything. The thing is, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I've always got the view, of just like when they're this young, just tell them to be a snitch. To be perfectly honest, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, but the person who hits back here always gets caught. And I don't want my son to be seen like a thug However, yeah, his mother's very much of the opposite approach, and she's like, punch him in the face. So I think Alex chooses John Jones because Tom is still nobody compared to Jones. Alex wants legacy fights. Tom Aspinall's definitely not a nobody. But the problem with Aspinall is because he doesn't have the CV to back himself up, he's still an unknown quantity. So it's a big risk. I think Tom Aspinall is very, very well known, and it's kind of ironic that he's mostly known because of the fact that John Jones ran away from him. He's kind of basking in the John Jones like fame a little bit. The fact that somebody who's so well regarded in the sport is running away from you. It's a good sign. But that's where he's got most of his notoriety from. But Tom Aspinall's a risky one now. Because in 5 years from now, he's going to be seen as one of the greatest heavyweights ever, if not before that. But right now, he's known as an entity, but he's not really respected that much globally as a fighter. He's more known as the guy that, oh, John Jones was going to fight and didn't. And that's not enough. So if I was Alex, I would probably take the John Jones fight for the casual audience member. But if he's the real man who wants to get a third belt, he's got to take on Tom Aspinall, because if he beats him, that legacy is locked in for life. What's next for Gamrot if he wins? You got to give him a title shot. He beat Arman Sarukian, and people talk about Arman Sarukian like he deserves a title shot. Why is he not getting one? Gamrot beat him, and beat him fair and square. And I think he got robbed against Hooker. So if he beats Charles Oliveira, who just had a title fight, you've got to give him one. But that's the fucked up thing. They're not going to. They're going to give it to somebody like fucking Justin Gaethje, which is ridiculous. But I guess the only thing you could get off that is Ilia Topuria is going to embarrass him. And his aura is going to rise even more. I think that's going to be a first round fucking steamrolling. In many cases in school, I was the villain just because in self-defense, I was caught hitting him. It always happens that way. The person who lands the first strike is often not the one who gets caught or gets blamed for it. It's always the guy who's then like raining down ground and pound. John Jones doesn't want to fight younger guys, but Alex Pereira is 12 days older than him. I think John Jones just knows what it is. I think he knows he's going to get fucking smacked. Marty Juiceman's little bro pissed hot, obviously. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm assuming he's off the card then. What a shock. What a shock. I guess that confirms what Guru's been saying about Muhammad Usman this entire time. He was probably on the source as well. Dodgy pharmacist dad and all that. Confirmed. I like the color of your shirt. I just wish no desire for your collar to be a little more crisper. I don't care about anyone. That's what I'm saying. I probably could have run it through an iron, but I just got home. You know, I threw on what was available. If you think I go to any effort to pick up my clothing to go in front of dozens and dozens of people on the internet, you are very wrong. Walter's fight is off. That is disappointing. I think he would have beaten him anyway. I'm assuming that Walker's going to get his money. Although knowing the UFC, probably not. Elevated test news. Jesus Christ. That is... But this goes to show you, yeah, I reckon a lot of people are doing that shit. It's just a case of whether you get caught or not. Will Topuria's divorce make him stronger? 100%. That t-shirt was hilarious, by the way. You know how I feel about women in general. I guarantee you, yeah, as hot as she was, I guarantee you she was flapping her gums non-stop. She was probably an annoying distraction. He seems happier than he's ever been. We actually saw the fucker smiling, so... Usman's test results from September showed elevated testosterone levels. What a shock. He'll probably get show money. I don't know, man. They might just rebook him into something else in a week or two. That's how the UFC rolls. They've done it with fighters in the past. Like they did it with Stephen Thompson famously a little while ago. But he refused because he refused to fight the person who came in 5 pounds overweight or whatever it was. They got pissed at him and then refused to pay him. So it wouldn't surprise me if they shafted him. Personally, if I was a fighter, I wouldn't. If I knew I was going to get my money, I kind of want my opponent to pull out, get that money, then fight a couple of weeks down the line, get another paycheck, all day long. Yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, it was going to be a shit fight anyway. We all go like Usman looks like he should be able to fight, but he's horrendously bad. Yeah, it was Wonderboy versus Mikael Pereira. In hindsight, Wonderboy should have taken that fight because Mikael Pereira wouldn't have made it out of the fight. I mean, we just saw Mikael Pereira get fucking dunked by that Dalkus character who's absolutely shit. I think because the pullout was so close to the fight, they'll give him show money. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to find out. The UFC moved dirty with stuff like this. But because it wasn't his fault, he made weight. That's what Cedricas Dumas is doing. Has he been cut yet? Surely he must have. Oh, no, yeah, he got cracked in the ball, so he's going to live to fight another day. How you doing, Chris Cushman? What's good, bro? Hope you're well. I can't believe, I've been here 20 minutes already. And I'm noticing this here. I stay here for quite a long time and say absolutely nothing. Thoughts on Paul Craig? Unfortunately for Paul Craig, that win against Ankalaev was obviously something he was riding on. And now that Ankalaev's got dunked as easily as he has, that one aura-defining moment he had has been diminished. But I say something about Paul Craig. Looks like a premium dick slinger. Isn't a very, very good fighter, but fuck it. I think he did very well for his career. Was never really going to be a championship level. Probably hung around longer than he should have done. But he was a good guy to have around. Hang on a second. I'm just going to answer this call. Or not answer it. I'm just going to respond by message. Yeah, where did the 20 minutes go? These are just becoming very casual little meetups, aren't they? I'm enjoying the hell out of them. The last one was really fun. Walter Walker makes enough from his YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel. I feel like all the fighters are doing that these days. I quite like it. I don't have time to watch all of them, but fair play to them. Respect. Are you live on 4 times? What does that mean? I don't think so. Sorry, hang on. All right. Oh, 4 times speed. No, I shouldn't be. Unless you're playing me at 4 times speed. Is that even possible? This is live, bro. I know what you're saying, though. It feels like... I mean, another 5 minutes have just gone by and did... Like, yeah, there's something weird's going on tonight. Anyway. As always, the forum is open. I just want a nice chill one tonight. I am going to be coming back. I'm going to be... Oh, no, I know what you're saying now. I'm a bit slow tonight. Yeah, we're just going to keep the forum open. We'll have a nice little breezy chat because I am planning on coming back on tomorrow. And we're going to do the Sunday panel as well. Whenever it gets to Friday, I'm always like at my lowest energy. I fought through the week. The situation with that girl student is not getting any better. She started writing me letters now as well, which is getting annoying. It's not anything too creepy at the moment, but I can see us going in this direction. Where she leaves me like a note every morning. And it's getting kind of worrying. I think I might have to report it. Social media is becoming a bigger part in MMA now. A lot of fighters are making their own channels. The thing is, it's very, very smart. You need to do that. Fighters these days need to think about how to parlay into another career. End up fucked at the end of it with nothing to do. So it seems wise that they should be parlaying their career into social. And you can make money on she's not poetic at all, and her handwriting is terrible. It hasn't gotten inappropriate yet. Like the notes are just sort of little things, like little, like messages and stuff. There's nothing too erotic or anything about it or anything worrying in that set. But I know where it's going. This is where it starts. Make sure you inform your work superiors. In fact, I'm gonna write an email to my boss tonight to get that done, because I don't want to get myself into any hot water. There's already little comments going around and stuff about how some of my colleagues have noticed that she's constantly missing her classes and like following me around. You have real sweatpants on the bottom energy. How did you know? I like to keep it comfortable, Kyle Cup, but welcome to you. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. Appreciate you very, very much. Of course, I wear sweatpants when I get home. I'm old, bro. Gamrot smokes Oliveira. I hope you're right. If anybody deserves a push to the top or a chance to fight for a title, it's Mateus Gamrot. He's fought a lot of good opponents, and he's had a lot of unlucky results. The Dan Hooker one being the most prominent of all of them. I thought that was very, very... I thought he was very, very unlucky to lose that fight. I didn't try telling her that. No, I didn't. To be honest, Westy, I couldn't find a way to fit it into the conversation. I feel like Gamrot is the type of guy to beat Charles and fluke Ilya by injury or DQ to win the belt. It's very interesting that you say that, because I had a very similar thought. How you know someone is commenting his first comment on the channel? I have no idea. The thing is, because my community is relatively small, I remember who's been in here and who hasn't, for the most part. I guess I've got a better memory for names than I thought I did, because usually when I see somebody pop up, I know who's been here or not. You still banging gym, bro? I just do push-ups these days. I've got like a little gym in my house, so I've got like a treadmill, and I've got like a machine that I can do chin-ups on. And I've got like weights and stuff like that, but I mostly do push-ups. I've got like a push-up bar, and that's mostly all I do. Sam, for example, has been here quite a few times. Chris Cushman is someone who's been here many times, and Bomb turns up here all the time. Hooker Gamrot robbery. I didn't think it was a robbery. I've said this many times on my channel. Yeah, I think the word robbery is thrown around a little bit too liberally. A robbery is when somebody clearly fucking loses. Like, I mean, there's no doubt, and then they get the win. That's a robbery. So, like, for example, when Kai Kara France lost to Amir Al-Bazi, that was a very clear 4 rounds to 1, and they gave the decision to Amir Al-Bazi, which is, you're literally looking at it going, how? How did you do that? Whereas with Gamrot and Hooker, it felt like Gamrot won. You could make a very small case for Hooker. I felt it was like 75% in Gamrot's favor, in my opinion. So it wasn't like, oh my God, what are you doing? But it was like, come on, man. So I think fights come into 3 categories in that way. So it's robbery, bad decision, and then fair result. Reyes Jones would be another example of bad decision. You can make a case for John Jones, but it's a very, very fucking weak one. I wouldn't say Jones and Reyes was an outright robbery. And the thing is, I am somebody who thinks John Jones is an absolute cunt. Nobody thinks he's a bigger cunt than I do. But if you look at that fight, Reyes clearly won the first 2 rounds, but the 3rd round was kind of a, I'm not sure. It felt like Reyes won it, but you could technically give it to Jones. And then Jones won rounds 4 and 5. The line on your eyes shows you need some sleep. I've always got a little bit of black under my eyes. I'm a hard worker, sir. If you don't believe that my age is 40, it's all in my eyes. It's kind of underneath here. They are a little bit dark. And I'm not one of those bitchy men who uses fucking skin products and shit. So all my flaws are here to be seen. And I don't give a shit. I disagree with the judges sometimes, but I can see their reasoning. The thing is, yeah, judging is a very, very hard job. I'm mostly angry when it's just outright ridiculous or when it's inconsistent on a specific night. When I get mad with judging is when sometimes they'll give a win to a fighter who's holding somebody up against the cage but getting battered. And I'm like, all right, that's what the judges are doing tonight. And then later on in the night, the same thing will happen and they'll give it to the other person. That's where I get mad. What's in your background, bro? I just got a whole load of video games behind me. I'm trying not to flex much these days. I think it's very unbecoming of me. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I believe you. You don't look 40, but I still believe you. Yeah, it's like I said, it's my sleep is very, very inconsistent. It has been over the years. But over the last few months, I've been a little bit better. I've been trying to go to sleep at the same time, not too late. I'm still tired during work anyway, and I might need to do something about that. But it is what it is. We do the best we can. It's because I don't really take any stimulants during the day. Like I'm not into like caffeine or anything like that. How many video games do you have? I've got about 2,000 physical video games. I've got about 800 Switch games, there or thereabout. I've got like 100 N64 games. I've got like 50 SNES games. I've got Dreamcast games, 3DS, all kinds of shit. How is the weather? It's getting kind of nippy these days. I've got to be honest. We're not too far from the frozen winter. So, that was stupid. But yeah, I'm not as young as I look, apparently. 1 second, guys. I just realized I turned the heating on but left my radiator off. Do you know what's even more crazy, Sam? I don't even really play video games like that. 90% of them are still sealed and just sitting there. It's a total waste of money if you ask me, but whatever. I wouldn't say rich, but I do all right. I do all right. So yeah, I need to find a new hobby. Really, I've realized I'm gonna start investing in the stock market. That's something I'm gonna start doing. So I've been looking into it over the last couple of weeks. I downloaded an app called let me get it here, Trading 212, and I'm gonna start fucking with it. See how that goes. I'm gonna put like 10 grand in or something like that. Something that I wouldn't be too sorry to lose, and then see where it goes. Just keep it for a long time, then sell as a collection price. I do have some games that I bought for like $50, and they're worth like several hundred now, sometimes more. How many countries have you visited? I'm gonna say it's probably between 50 and 70 countries. I've been all over the shop. How did you make so much money? Do you own businesses? So I went to a country. So I'm an educator. I've worked at different levels of education. But I went to countries that have either low tax or no tax and pay for your accommodation. And then I hustled and did a lot of work, like extra hours on the side. And you realize when you take away expenses like taxation and paying for your rent and stuff like that. And I was getting fed in most of the places where I worked as well. So it's all about lowering your expenditure. You don't have to have like an overly flamboyant. I mean, I was making something like 90,000 a year, something like that. But I didn't have any outgoings really. My flights got paid for, accommodation got paid for. So I was able to save the majority of my money. And I did that for quite a long time. And then I ended up coming back to my country, buying my house outright. And now I can work for like a reasonable salary and most of it's expendable income. Where was your worst experience? Fuck, that's a brilliant question. I wouldn't say I've overly hated anywhere that I've lived, but I spent a little bit of time in Kuwait, and that was a shithole. Kuwait was an actual shithole. Way too strict. Because your boy likes to get down with the ladies, or used to. And Kuwait made that very hard for me. They legitimately ask for marriage certificates when you try to bring a honey back to the hotel. And for any eligible pimp out there. That is not going to work. But that's a very good question. There were very limited. There are very few countries in my life that I've spent considerable time in where I've been like, oh, this was horrible. Don't live there, because everything's a different experience. Like I loved China. I loved living in Qatar. Thailand was probably one of my favorites. Japan was incredible. Spent different periods in America, different parts of Europe. I can't say anywhere was shit. What is your gender and pronouns? I'm a Chad. Chad is my pronoun. Straight up big bollock Chad, mate. Tarts only. You feel me? There is one dick and one vagina, therefore there are only two eligible genders, in my opinion. I don't play any of that shit. Yeah, I wouldn't go any. I am crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Q8 would ever go on your list anyway. But if you ever get offered a job there, get the fuck out of there. Don't entertain it. You guys probably won't know this reference, but it looks like Slough in the 1970s and Slough in 2025. Big old 2025 still looks like a shithole. So imagine what it was like 50 years ago. Do not go to Q8. My goal is to visit Japan soon. I've heard good things. Japan was incredible. Incredible. I've only been to Hokkaido and Osaka, and I had a really great time there. What about your gay uncle? He's a man with a dick. All right, he fucks dudes in the ass, but he's still a man. He's got a he pronoun. He doesn't go around saying, call me Susan. Have you been to India? I lived there for 4 years, working in the south for Hyundai. Wow. Isn't Hyundai like a south? Isn't it like it's either a Korean or a Japanese country? I'm gonna say Korean. I don't know why. But yeah, my gay uncle is still a dude, bro. Would you ever go to Dagestan? No. What about? Oh, sorry, I've read that question 3 times. How you doing, Fabio? What's good, bro? If you're confused, you're in the right place. I've never been to India though, but I've got to be honest. We've had loads of Indian people coming into the chat these days, and they've opened my eyes. My view of India has always been really, really nice culturally, but too crowded for me. And that's why it's always been far down my list, because I get agitated very easily. And I've got an Indian friend as well who has told me multiple times that whenever he goes there, someone always tries to scam him, and he's Indian. So you can imagine what they do to a pasty white piece of shit like me. Where are you from? I am Irish, but I grew up in England. How many times have I said that on a live stream? It's perfectly fine though, because obviously if you're new here, like Prince Studio is, you're going to naturally ask that question. What's with Indians having no good fighters? I don't think they've really been exposed to the game for that long. But the thing is, now that they are, there's billions of those motherfuckers. Eventually, a Chad will rise from the ashes. We will get an Indian champion in the next 20 years. Do you know Princess Diana? I mean, not personally, but I know of her. I remember I was really pissed because I was 12 years old or something when she died. And I remember being really angry because the football got cancelled that weekend. What a cunt I was. I just wanted to see a good game. And all the games got cancelled. So I was very upset with her. What does Kerala Champions mean? India is a world within a world. Pick where you go. Well, that's the thing. India is a massive place. And the thing is, it's got a lot of iconic places that I imagine would be worth seeing. You know, I mean, it's a civilization, is one of the oldest civilizations out there. So it'd be interesting from that perspective. And I've heard that generally the people there are very welcoming and warm. But I'm just not up for all the crowded stuff. And as I've said multiple times, I do love Indian people, but you motherfuckers need to learn how to queue. Man, I miss Diana. Didn't know it was that deep. You've seen Michael Jackson rise from end. How was that time? It felt like Michael Jackson was untouchable at a certain point. There was literally a point where diddling a kid would have been nothing to this guy, and that's probably why he did it. Which civilization was the oldest? I mean, it depends what you see as civilization, I guess. That's a tough question to ask. It depends what you consider. I personally think that when a civilization is able to communicate in some facet and leave some semblance behind of what they were, that to me represents what a civilization is. What movies do you like? Horror or comedy or romantic or what? I'm not into romantic movies because I'm not a fucking fruitcake, even though I look like one. I don't really understand people that watch horror. I don't really want to be scared, so I don't know why people willingly do that to themselves. In the same way that I don't know why people eat really, really hot food. Like, why are you putting so much hot sauce on your shit and looking to burn the shit out of your mouth? Why does everything have to be a challenge these days? I'm not scared. My mouth isn't on fire. Just enjoy your shit. Sir, I'm from Iraq. We are trying to contact you to be our king. Please, we will worship you every day. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. I accept your offer. I will leave immediately. MJ was framed. He was weird around kids, but not like that. All his cases were highly dubious. I don't know, man. The way that kid described his penis was a little bit fishy to me. It wouldn't surprise me if they did it to bring him down a few pegs, though. And that's how you know the guy was like bigger than they could control. Because it took quite a few kids for people to go, come on now. We're not on this Michael guy anymore. And his music still gets fucked. Do you still miss physical discs? I do. I can't stick my pee through the hole. Damn dog. I would like to say that I can't relate to that. But you can fill out the rest of it. I'm feeling you, brother. Shout out to the pencil dicks in the chat. Pardon my curiosity, but could you please elucidate what objects or artifacts you have positioned behind you? Nice to see you, Soul Illy. They are all video games. So I swear to God, I'm not flexing here because that's for the gross. But seeing as I've been asked this a few times, I'm just going to turn to the side here. So you can see a GameCube in the background. I've got multiple Switch games on each side. I'm just going to tip there for a second. I'll try and tip down a little bit as well. You got a nice little view of my sweatpants there. It's basically just a shelving filled with numerous video games. I still think you have sugar in your tank. What does that mean, Clint? I'm going to take that as a compliment. A fruitcake. Come on, man, you look good. Was I talking about myself? Fellow Indian bros need white validation badly. Stop asking questions like a kid, guys. A humble request, please. To be honest, Anoop, most of the Indian guys who come in here are very respectful and they ask very interesting questions. And I don't think most of the Indian guys on here have been simping that much. Just a little bit. Why are you sitting on a wheelchair? I don't know how to answer that. There's nothing wrong with being disabled. I mean, personally, I'm not, but Jackson is a nonce, but some of his songs are all right. Bro, bomb, don't be a hater. Michael Jackson's got at least 20 absolute bangers. Don't ask me to name them. Fascinating collection dedicated to interactive digital entertainment. I assume you've categorized them by platform and release year. I haven't done them by release year. I did them alphabetically because obviously my collection got so big that I had to start recording all of them in like not a spreadsheet, but in like a Word document. And it's easier to just keep track of stuff if it's A to Z. So I categorized them by what platform they're on and then in A to Z order. One day I'll show you guys the whole list of stuff that I've got. I'm too young for MJ, I think. Nobody MJ is fucking timeless, sir. What I would recommend you do, Bomb, yeah, is go back and listen to Michael Jackson, The History. Is it called The History? That album is obviously, is it History? Yeah, it's called Michael Jackson History. It's a double CD. of all of his greatest hits, yeah, every single song on that album is a banger, an absolute banger. And I'd say there's like 30, 40 songs on it, something like that. They're all I would arguably say that 20 of his songs are world class, but you could make a case that he's got even more than that. This guy owns the Beatles he owns the Beatles discography. Why can't I talk? I was born in 2007. There is no bad time to listen to Michael Jackson. Just listen to Michael Jackson history, that entire album from beginning to end, and you will be convinced that he is one of the greatest pop stars of all time. Not that that title really means anything. Liberian Girl by Michael Jackson was a masterpiece. I don't even know that song. So much to an extent that I think you might have made it up. And you didn't. Oh, it was on Bad. Oh, Liberian Girl. Yeah, I don't remember that one. If you wanna know what he was like, listen to Michael Jackson sing when he was like 10 years old. He was just pure talent. He was just too fucked up in the head, unfortunately. That level of fame can only do one thing, and that's fuck with your brain. Could you name your top 5 video games? I'll determine whether your list aligns with objective taste. All right. Persona 5 Royale is in my top 5. Final Fantasy 7, the original, of course, is up there. Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation 1 was one of my favorites as well. Ocarina of Time. It might be another Final Fantasy game. Off the top of my head, I can't think. But I'm very certain about those 4. Persona 5 Royale, absolute banger. Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil 2, the original one, and Final Fantasy 7, the original one. Thought of Lord of the Rings and its PS2 games. Never really was into the games. The movie was all right. What's your banger top 5? And tell me your top 5 as well, Soul Lily. I want to hear this. Earth Song didn't really age that well for me, but at the time it was like, oh my god, it was like Jesus Christ is singing. It literally felt like that. Persona 5, that's a Freudian game, 100%. I love Persona 5. The music and everything in it. I mean, it's a very limiting game. I cannot wait for the next Persona game to come out because I think they're going to smash it. I loved TWD game series. The Walking Dead. Aren't they like visual storytelling ones? Aren't they by Telltale Games? I'm pretty sure. CSGO is the GOAT. There isn't a better FPS. I wasn't really a very big fan of Counter-Strike, if I'm going to be honest. Stranger in Moscow is one of my favorite songs of all time. And it wasn't really that well distributed. I only ever heard that song from history, and it was one of my favorite songs on that album. Michael Jackson was a banger. He was just a bit of a weirdo, unfortunately. He was a bit of a weirdo. But yeah, I understand why Counter-Strike is really popular. I wasn't really that into it. Is that Battlefront 3? Brother, that Ecuadorian and Russian dude had a crazy fight. I haven't even seen it yet, you know. I've heard they both got bonuses and that it was a phenomenal fight. I haven't really been keeping up with Dana White's Contender Series much because it's on at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for me and I can't be asked. But I'm gonna give it a watch back because I've heard that fight was unbelievable. You look like my loss, brother. I'm not sure to be offended or excited by that statement. But how you doing, Gamataru? Welcome. First time in the chat. Michael Jackson was abused his whole life. And the thing is, Pappy Peeper, and you've been in here before. I think you were in my last stream. I 100% agree with you. That guy has, and I'm one of those people, yeah, even when stuff horrific happens, like noncing and people getting murdered and that kind of stuff, there is always a root cause to these things happening that I think need to be respected and understood. Best fight I've ever seen on there. I'm going to go back and watch it. I have to. In fact, as soon as I get off this stream, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Please return home. You are my brother. You could be. I mean, my dad was a promiscuous little fucker. Why did Dagestani fighters dominate the UFC? I think if you look, bro, I can only see how many Dagestani champions do we have right now. I think you'll find it's fucking zero, sir. So let's wait and see what happens with Islam and JDM. But now that Ankalaev has been wiped off the face of the earth, we're back. Yeah, man, I'm a floater. I've seen your picture in here before, but great to have you back, bro. He was weird. How could he not be? All his convictions for being a nonce are highly dubious. I mean, I tend to agree with you. I mean, I think, like, I don't know the ins and outs of it fully, but they're certainly questionable. I'll put it that way. But here's the problem that I've got with it, yeah. You cannot put yourself in a position like that. You shouldn't be hanging around and sleeping next to little boys. I'm not saying he was touching their wee-wees or anything, but just don't put yourself in that position. You're a famous black man. They're waiting for any opportunity to fuck with you. And yeah, he was probably killed as well. How you doing, alive and starving? Good to see you here, bro. Good. Macaulay Culkin said he never touched him ever, but Macaulay Culkin was too high profile. That's a high profile diddle that you're unlikely to get away with. I would say that's not conclusive evidence, but he certainly made it clear that he was not. And also, I guarantee you that most people that get diddled, they don't really want to announce it. They don't want to get seen like that. Dude, you're the first big pop star. Think about that. You're the I would say Elvis. I would say Elvis was the first one where it was like, shit, this is out of control. This is like, he's bigger than anyone. It's very hard to choose, but I'd say Final Fantasy VII, The GOAT, Metal Gear Solid 3, GTA Vice City, God of War, and Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is amazing as well. I've got to give you props for that one. Even the remake was outstanding. I loved it. I had Metal Gear Solid on my brain, but I replayed Metal Gear Solid 2 recently and it did not age well. And I haven't even played Metal Gear Solid 3. I tried to play it when it got released a while ago, but I was running around in the jungle and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I just gave up almost immediately. And I've heard it's one of the best Metal Gear Solids ever. So I might want to get it. I might want to go back and revisit that one. Frank, did you get around to watching Dana White's Contender Series? I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. I've heard it's on YouTube as well. So as soon as I get off here, I'm watching that. He was surrounded by leeches. He could only trust children. Think about it. That makes sense. But it's such a risky thing to do. Why the fuck you talking, bruh? Little boys, what the hell? We're talking about Michael Jackson and whether he was a nonce or not. I think that's worth exploring. Let your dad beat you bad for 15 years and throw you downstairs. His dad literally put them in the fireplace at night when it was off. Then you're a superstar next day, richest, you'll be nuts. I can't help, I cannot disagree with that. I'm not saying it's not justified. And I'm still a big Michael Jackson fan. Frank or Frankie, which one do you prefer? I'm cool with both, you know. Whatever you feel inclined to call me, as long as it's not fucking Susan, I'm down. You look like the British Zelensky sometimes. That's all right. What did you think of Resident Evil 1? One of the best games ever. But the thing is about the reason why I love Resident Evil 2, very rarely are sequels good, let alone better. Resident Evil 2 took everything that was good about Resident Evil 1 and improved on it. But Resident Evil 1's up there for me as well. And the Resident Evil remake, oh, what a game. James Brown, Elvis, and Cash. Johnny Cash was very, very popular as well, but he didn't really get to enjoy his success as much as the others did. James Brown was massive, but Elvis was like godlike status. Do you code or study mathematics? I'm actually a literature professor, so I'm into literature across the ages. I am a book savant more than anything else. By the way, if you are here, I always forget to ask this. Could you please like the channel and subscribe? I would very much appreciate it. Repent, he is coming soon. Kanye Michael, get Paradox. If you weren't my boy, I would literally destroy you for that. I'm sorry, I didn't see the channel name. It's literally MMA Math. Yeah, it used to be bad MMA Math, but I changed it to Fight Night Frankie after getting bullied relentlessly by my chat members. So they got to vote about what the channel name got changed to. Michael Jackson was a pedo, or it's fake. I can't believe. I like to believe that it was fake. Resident Evil 1 versus Resident Evil Remake. I would go with Resident Evil Remake. But Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, is still playable. I fucked with that game a couple years ago and it's still amazing. But the remake is infinitely playable. It's a lot smoother. The frame rates are good. The graphics are amazing. The lighting that they added to it was unbelievable. They've extended out certain parts of the game as well. Resident Evil Remake is one of the best games of all time as well. It's unbelievable. How you doing, Bear Blasting? He's just rolled up here and said incapable. Would you care to elaborate on that statement? I always thought the game was named President Evil, and I was upset. I was upset when the boss wasn't a president. Oh, that is excellent. That is an excellent thing to say. Change it to Live with Susie. The thing is, yeah, I'm very much susceptible to peer pressure. So if the people call for it, it might have to be something that happens somewhere down the line. Caravaggio, it's kind of catchy, but yeah, no, you don't like Stranger in Moscow. Stranger in Moscow is an absolute classic, mate. Caravaggio, it's funny. Not that I agree completely, but it is hilarious to a world-famous artist makes a song like that. I would love to do that subbed. Anyway, you've got to recommend the top 3-5 books that everyone should read. The thing is, I'm very much into like fiction and like science fiction in particular. So I'm not sure that my my taste would necessarily be suitable for yours. I'm always very wary about putting myself completely out there and saying, I recommend this. I guarantee you'd like it. James Dean or Steve McQueen? Oh, shit. Wow. James Dean was Rebel Without a Cause, yeah. I'm going to have to go with him. Lots of books you got. I bet you didn't finish one, Zelensky. I'm a literature professor, man. I read more than I do anything. I read more than I jerk off, which is a lot. What do you think of Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 5 and 6? I wasn't a fan of any of them. Resident Evil 0 was a stupid idea. Placing a game that takes part a lot on a train. I do think it was underrated slightly when it eventually gets off the train. But no, I didn't love it. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a very good book. It's in my top 50. 1 hour and 2 minutes disappears like nothing. It's unbelievable. The Jews tried to tarnish and besmirch his character. I have completely lost control of this chat. I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. I'm gonna have to take a breath and reset. Are you Elon Musk's little brother? I wish. I fucking wish. But yeah, if you boys could like the stream while you're here, I'm gonna pop it up in the chat just to make sure that we're all on the same page because I always forget. Let's get back to the business of talking complete shit. Resident Evil 0 was originally meant to come out for the N64. That's true, Leandro. The problem with N64 is them doing all that stuff on cartridges had a lot of limitations. I've got the original Resident Evil 2 on N64, and I don't know how they managed to pull that off because there were so many things they couldn't get done on a cartridge. No way, that's awesome. I freaking love sci-fi books. Can't get enough of them. Let's hear your favorite ones. I would say, yeah, if you're somebody who's relatively new to it, I would check out the Expanse series. So the first book I would check out is a book called Leviathan Wakes. Now let me make sure I've spelt that correctly. That would be ironic. Yeah, Leviathan Wakes. It's by an author named James A. Corey. It's the first book in something called the Expanse series. If you like that book, you're gonna have a hell of a good time, because there's basically 7 or 8 books that just get better and better and better. I'm involved in science myself. I've experienced God and can also scientifically prove that he is real. I don't believe in the necessarily God itself. I prefer to consider a creator. Nobody cool ever sucked a dick. I have to politely disagree with that one. I mean, Freddie Mercury was cool as fuck, and I guarantee you, he nobbled on many dicks. Not my style, but you know, I don't think dick sucking entirely. Well, now that I'm saying it out loud, it probably does destroy your aura. But Kanye's first run of albums are elite. I don't give a fuck. Thank you, my G. I will let you know once you finish them. Please do. It would be nice to have some people in here who are as much of a fan of science fiction as I am, because it's something that I rarely get to talk about. So shout out to you. Real DJ Aiden the boss. Oh shit, he's back. How you doing, DJ Aiden? Macho, you rate a dick sucker a 10. Why am I not surprised? Who's this dick sucker that we're rating a 10? Do you mean Kanye West is a dick sucker? I'm confused. I hear Kanye has a Johnny Walker-esque worm. I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. The fact that he got so butthurt about Pete Davidson and the size of his dong when he was dicking down his missus would lead me to believe otherwise. I reckon he's packing a worm in there. But actually, now that do you mean a worm, an actual worm? Yeah, he's got no dick. I read very rarely, but I always pull out the craziest books. The most recent book I've read is Mind and Matter by Erwin Schrödinger. That book is trippy at times. I love something that's a little bit out there. Because the thing is with books here, I'm relentless. Resident Evil 2 versus Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 2 all day. Resident Evil 3 is too short. They had some good mechanics in Resident Evil 3, but it never quite... It was basically a stopgap while they were making Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is actually a very underrated game as well. I mean the dance, you mong. Oh. Well, it was a good run, boys. Paradox has ruined my career. Thank you very much, Paradox, for exposing me for the in the closet fagged hard that I am. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed my time. Before leaving, I want to tell you once again, you look great at the age of 40. You look 25. Good night. Thank you, Unknown Edits, for being the first person in here and for sticking it out this long, you absolute legend. You are a pillar of the community, and I really enjoy having you here, sir. Shout out to you. Have you read the Ender Game series? I love Ender's Game. I've read the first 3. So I think the first one was Ender's Game. The second one was something about what was it called again? Oh shit. Ender's Game is amazing. It's about a child that fights a war, right? I am a Mong. Stuart, we're not talking about anything meaningful. I would suggest you get away from here as soon as you can, because once you get sucked in, you'll never let go, and then you'll be involved in this retardation for the rest of your life. As Dana White has so succinctly put it, you fucking king Mong. Not ironic at all. Bro, you're 40. I am 40. I'm actually 41 this month. How you doing, DJ Aiden? It's been a while. Please believe, man, Jesus Christ is real and waiting for you. He is the loving Father. Thank you for your sentiments, sir. I'd be worried about walking into a church these days. I'm pretty sure I'd burst into flames. But yeah, bro, I didn't know you'd read there's another one you might like, Westy, called Old Man's War. I suggest you check that out if you're a science fiction fan as well. Old Man's War is good. The subsequent books are kind of sucky, but I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, Ender's Game is amazing. I've read I've read the entire series. Bean was an amazing character as well. So I've read the first 3. For some reason, yeah, I can't remember what the name of the second book was. It was called like Ghost Protocol or something about ghosts. What's it called again? Speaker for the Dead. That was it. I don't know why I said Ghost Speaker for the Dead, which was also good as well. A bit more slow paced. But I've read it, yeah. Bean was a great character as well. Damn, time flies. I remember when you was turning 40. I know it was and to be fair with you, I turned 40 really gracefully. It was turning 30 that really freaked me out. When I left my 20s, I think that's genuinely when I had my midlife crisis and I freaked out. I was so depressed on my 30th birthday, but when I turned 40, I was cool with it. Yeah, Xenocide was the third one, and I feel like it started to go off the boil a little bit after that. But great series as well. Apparently they made a movie out of it, right? They made a movie out of Ender's Game, and apparently it absolutely sucked. But this is why it should have remained a book, because it's obviously predominantly around children. And you cannot make a good movie with child actors in it. It's just impossible. So that should have never got made. And it's embarrassing that they did. But Westy, you should check out the Expanse series if you haven't already. Start with Leviathan Wakes, and it will get you hooked. In fact, I'm tempted. I do pray. I just don't go to church. Yeah, the movie was shite. I knew it would be. Why do you look younger than MMA Guru? I can't really answer that question. I don't think he looks old. I think he looks 30. I know he's younger than that. I think he's got 27. But he looks about his age. Maybe he'll age well. So yeah, so Westy, I've never watched a movie because I don't want to spoil my because that is up there as one of my favorite books of all time as well. What a story. I think I've read Ender's Game like 3 times. Yeah, Unknown Edit, speak your heart. You know you're welcome here. Lack of facial hair, I would say that does it. Because somebody mentioned it earlier and they're 100% right. I do have like black under my eyes, which is but it's just like a lack of sleep, and I am a grinder. Are you guys keeping up with the BJJ scene? I'd love to see Gordon Ryan come back. Gordon Ryan's still about. The question is, will he ever join that BJJ shit that the UFC are doing? I highly doubt it because of the money involved. Islam best fighter after Khabib? No, sir. He is not, and he's going to get battered by JDM by decision. Islam's a very good fighter. Khabib cannot be up there because he fought cab drivers for most of his career and then retired too early. So sorry. And he had a very similar striking style to Juliana Pena. Prove me wrong. Frank Herbert Jr. Any thoughts? I've got a first edition copy of Frank Herbert Jr. One of my favorite books ever. I'll tell you something about June though, and this is going to make me sound like a simpleton. I had to restart June about 4 times. But then when it clicked, it fucking clicked. And I couldn't put it down. I kept reading about 4 chapters in, and then I'd stop reading it for a month or 2. And then I tried to continue on, and I couldn't remember what the fuck was going on. So I'd have to restart it. But once it got me, it got me. And yes, Northwest, Habib did lose to Tibau. Khabib also had gonorrhea. How you doing, B? Yes, I am Irish. How did you know? I feel like you haven't been there before. Is there a way I can share a book with you? It's an ebook. If you go on to Twitter and if you type in @badmmamath.com, why did I say that? I am @badmmamath on Twitter. Hit me up there. You can DM me if there's, as long as you don't try to send me dick pics. It's happened to me before. We're good. I knew there was a reason I liked you, Frank. Caravaggio, I've always liked you. Maximum Jones. I want to stay more on live, but the 4 hours time difference makes it a little bit hard. But still, I'm really glad you had fun on Unknown Edits. I promise you, when the holidays kick on, I'm going to come on earlier just for you boys. And we know what boys I'm talking about. Why I don't get a notification when you're live? I have no idea. I assume, yeah. I assume that YouTube are giving me a little bit of a slap on the wrist again. Because I do say so. I don't say anything that should get me in real trouble, but I do say stuff that maybe isn't very YouTube friendly. So that might have something to do with it. Like the stream, boys. Brother, you and Aaron Paul could seriously be twins. I've heard that a couple times before as well. I've been told I look like a lot of people. But see, Northwest, you're 8 hours in the opposite direction. So your day is kind of in the middle of it. Whereas some of these guys, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm certainly talking about our Indian brothers in the stream who turn up en masse. So shout out to India. There will be no more derogatory speak about India ever again. I've got to pander to the audience. I work for MI5. It got a little bit hot in here all of a sudden. Hang on a sec. Just turn that heater off. How you doing, Northwest? I hope you're well. I noticed I got a DM from you recently, but I haven't had a chance to respond to you yet. So I hope you're doing well. Again, if it's if you're feeling like you're in a very charitable mood tonight, first of all, subscribe to Northwest 45 and then send the guy some money. He is a genuinely homeless individual, and any money you felt like you might want to send me, send it to Northwest 45 instead. I clearly don't need it, and he does. Frankie, are you growing your hair out? It looks suave. No, I was due to get a haircut last weekend and couldn't be bothered. But I've got a hair appointment next weekend. See, rich people, we don't say we're going to go get our haircut. I've learned this. We have an appointment because there's a whole process involved. I'm heading off to sleep, my friends. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got to get some sleep. Soul, I hope I see you again. Keep your love for literature alive and keep those recommendations coming because you are definitely somebody I want around here. So shout out to you. Thank you for turning up in the stream. I feel like I might let my hair grow a little bit because I feel like I'm at the point now where it might be starting to fall out. So I might have to use one of my holiday periods to get over to Turkey. No worries on that. I've got plenty of haters from the MMA community because of my situation. It's a disgusting world we live in. There's no other way of putting it. It really disappoints me that somebody would not show love to somebody who's in the situation that you're in. That's pretty gay. I cut my hair in the bathroom. I used to do that as well. To be honest, white people hair is not that hard to cut. The 2-finger rule. You're good. Go get a hair transplant, brother. I'm wondering if I should go with the beard transplant instead and just do a stone cold for the last part of my life. I don't think I'm at the stage where I need a hair transplant yet. Like, I'm still all right. The hair's still attached in most places, but it's definitely thinning in certain areas. I think it's pretty gay to cut your own hair. Needs must as the devil drives, isn't it? If you're broke, I mean, how much do haircuts cost these days? A decent haircut's going to set you what, 30, 40 bucks? That's a blowjob in some countries. Does Turkey have the best hair transplants, or is it just the cheapest? I would say it's a combination of the two. I would say it's cost effective. However, try the scalp hair transplant first. If it doesn't work, then go beard. I think I might have to listen to that. Bud, listen, if Kai Cenat rizzed up Livy Dunn 67 style, would that be like negative aura type shit? I know vaguely who Kai Cenat is. I have no idea who Livy Dunn 67 style is, but I'm assuming she's a massive whore, and I'm all for it. So I'm assuming, but the fact that you're saying it's negative aura type shit, I'm going to have to trust the inclination that you're going. Decent haircut in the US is $40, not including the tip. It's outrageous, man. I remember when I used to pay $5 for a haircut. I'm that old. Bro, smile. Whenever I smile, without it happening naturally, I look like a proper creep. Buy hair clippers one time or pay every time you need a haircut. It's common sense. The thing is, yeah, I used to do that where I would shave my hair down to one level, but it just doesn't work for me. I need a little bit of, like, what's the word, layering going on to maximize my full potential. Nothing gayer than spending unnecessary money to go to a gay salon to have your hair cut by a liberal bitch for $50. The guy who cuts my hair is a gay Chinese dude, and he is Al Fuego. But yeah, pretty much a woman. How you doing? Sorry, Gaz Ninja. I saw you were in the chat. How you doing, bruv? Good to Gaz Ninja is another OG as well. Fucking love you, Gaz Ninja. I hope you're well, bro. How about this? In the Balkans, a decent haircut is about $5. And this is why these countries are the greatest, and why we need to emulate them. It works for me. I like buzz cuts. What about Lana Del Rey music? Do you like? I like Lana Del Rey. She's got a very harrowing kind of style that you don't really hear these days. I thought her first album, can't remember what the name of it was an amazing album. I'm not afraid to admit that. Gay Chinese haircut, $10. Been $10. I actually pay 50. It's $12 for this guy, and he's very good. See, Chinese people understand the hustle. So what he does is he works in a salon, right? And then he gives people his card, and then they come over to his home, and he does it for $12. And now he has clients round the clock. The Balkans are perpetually in conflict, so the haircut price is the least of their worries. True say. True say. I might actually shell out $50 for a gay Chinese haircut. I'm sure that guy is in the top. It's $12, bro. $12. I go to he's basically got like a shed at the back of his house. I know this is sounding gay, yeah, but let me land. He's got a really big shed that he's converted into like a hair salon. It looks really professional. Gets the job done. So he basically crepes off all the clients that he's got from his actual salon, because he's probably getting $12 a haircut anyway. Once all the deducting gets done, he probably makes $12 an hour there, or whatever. So he's like, "Fuck that! I'll gank all your clients, maximum respect." And then you go around there, and he lives like round the corner from me as well. Just a little walk. Job done, sir. So I book him in every 6 weeks. I pay in advance because it's $12. Yeah, so about 10 Canadian dollars. Yeah. Actually, no, it would be 15 Canadian dollars, because the pound is worth more than the Canadian dollar, I'm assuming. Frankie, tell your mates in England we don't want their shat and leftovers here anymore. We know Canada is England's dumping ground. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Canada's still up there for me. You guys are still all right. I've heard Canada's on a recovery now. As long as there's no jizz on the barber chair, then it sounds like a good setup. To be honest, I didn't really check. You've made a good point now. But if there is jizz on the barber chair, does washing machines exist for a reason? Gaz, go to Turkey and get your knees done. No, if you want to get your knees done, yeah, go to Thailand. Thailand has amazing medical services, and they're a lot cheaper. I promise you that Thailand's medical service is second to none, apart from maybe Cuba. I've heard in Cuba now, yeah, lung cancer is a thing of the past. It's like going in for a routine, bam, and it's done. Pound is worth double the Canadian, I'm pretty sure it is. Nice try for trying to slip that in there, though. They are the gay British that the Yankees chased up north, but that's why it's kind of a nicer place to live, don't you think? Or a more civilized place to live. I've heard Canada's lost their way lately, though. If there is jizz, you simply need to reevaluate on the spot. B, I don't know where you've been all my life, but I'm glad you're here now. I definitely feel like we understand each other. Cuba exports the most doctors. Apparently, they've got a phenomenal medical situation there. That's why we can't fight. We went gay. Y'all went Yankees, so I don't know. Cuba has world-class medicine. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've heard. I've literally heard, like, you go into a Cuban medical facility now with lung cancer, and they're like, they don't even bat an eye. It's like, we'll have you cancer-free in minutes. Off you go. I need to quit nicotine. Probably be a good idea. It's a harder thing to get. It's a harder thing to get through. Guys, you should have seen the last one. The last one was amazing. Without the French, USA would have never beat England. I'm glad that somebody's finally said it. The thing is, yeah, I'm obviously not a British person, and we know this, but let's just say that I am, yeah. Let's just say that I'm on. Let's just say that I am a British person, yeah. We basically lost to ourselves. What drugs are you on? Cuba does not have a good medical system. They do. This is known. No country on this planet that has socialized medicine as a good system. It's all stupid, overpriced, and takes forever to be seen. But Miones Raf, sick name, by the way. That's not relevant, sir. It's more what you prioritize in your country. It's like in Thailand, yeah. Thailand is a wealthier nation than people realize, but their medical health system is amazing, and I've seen it firsthand because I've got into a few accidents when I'm in Thailand. I'm not going to comment on what happened, but I've had situations where I've had to go in for medical procedures there. Nothing with the rectum before you all start saying stuff. And it's a lot cheaper and it's brilliant. Okay, you are a British person equals blood. Shut the fuck up, you dumbass. Octogram, I'm actually Irish. So you might want to rein in that disrespect and add some more disrespect. Because we're dumb and we're inbred. So did the Arabs North Ref. Okay, Mayuna's ref, I feel like you I think you're a bit too clever for us in here. I don't like it when people dispute my excellent claims with cold hard facts. That is not the place for this. All right? As well as provided the red camels that we used for US Camel Corps to the United States to defeat Santa Anna. And a man who knows his history as well. Oh, God. France helped a bit. They're lovers, not fighters. I'll be honest here. I know very little about the American Revolution, and I couldn't give any less of a fuck. I'll be honest. I'm an Irish. That's why I wouldn't say that to an Irish person. There we go, Octagram. We're back. Not relevant. So it takes 16 to 32 weeks to see a specialist in Canada for their socialized medicine. I wasn't talking about Canada, though. I've got no idea what the Canadian healthcare system's like. But I'm assuming it's very similar to the UK's, which is absolutely fucked right now. If you are arguing, so Mione, if you're arguing about what's better, a privatized healthcare or a public healthcare system, it's 100% a private healthcare system, and there is no dispute in that. There is no dispute in that whatsoever. Any country that has private healthcare has a better healthcare system. There's no doubt about it. You can't even see a fucking GP in the UK anymore without jumping through millions of hoops. It's ridiculous. Frankie, the only reason I want to be straight is to have biological children, but I cannot stand 99% of women otherwise. I'm going to tell you a secret, mixed martial artist. I love vagina, but I hate the entire thing that's around the vagina. So I'm with you, bro. I'm with you all the way. You don't have to like women to have sex with them. Is that the reason why you're gay? Bro, you might want to rethink some of those life choices. None of us like them either. Haha, too clever. I'm a carpenter. Mione, my father was a carpenter. Maximum respect for your profession. The best carpenters are some of the most creative people I've ever met. That is a goated job right there. So shout out to you. And I appreciate you bringing some culture in. I'm obviously joking about you bringing some intellectual stimulation into this conversation because sometimes we need it. So shout out to you, sir. Thank you for turning up. But don't forget, they do have maids, whereby the Canadian government will gladly execute anybody that wants to be medically assisted if they are a burden on the system. It's a deeply complex problem. And you're a 9th grade dropout. You don't have to be you don't have to, go through every level of education to be an intelligent person. We know that. Arse, tits and vagina. Don't. That's all. We have evolved a little bit more around here. We do talk about a little bit more these days than just that. Yeah, the song and dance to get pussy is insane. We need to bring autist back to the side of light. So many people have drank the socialism propaganda Kool-Aid. Cuba almost single-handedly saved the world exporting doctors during COVID. That is the only thing I can really give props to Cuba for, outright. Their medical expertise is outstanding, and I can't figure out how the fuck they've pulled it off. Unfortunately, I'm exclusively attracted to men. You've still got options. I mean, if you want to have children, it's, there's many options out there. So don't worry about it. And you do get to avoid the whole, the old yappy yappy. Public health care is government run. So named anything that is government run that is efficient. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bro, the Canadian government offered to offer person inquiring about their yet to be built wheelchair ramp. Wow. Fuck the Canadian government. The only thing I really know about Canada is how much they just get dunked on by Americans. Deep throat doesn't really do anything for me. I feel guilty. Whatever. Enjoy, boys. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really that type of guy either. I don't see the sense in choking somebody to death. My best friend used to say, what's the use to skin around the pussy, the woman? Oh, wow. Somebody needs to make a fucking t-shirt out of that immediately. Mjolnir, I don't know if you've realized it, but you have found a home here, sir. And you are very welcome. I have waxed lyrical so many times about how much I hate women, and people think I'm joking. I'm really not. There are some women, I find that the women that I get along with, and maybe there's something inherently wrong with me. The women I get along with, yeah, I've got absolutely no interest in smashing. And that says a lot. I'm basically friends with women who have men mentalities or male mentalities. And that says a lot. But I don't want to smash them. So maybe there's something wrong with me. I have no filter most days. That is how we like it. You'll find it's very much like that around here too. How you doing, TX2 fan Satanic? Good to have you back. You were here obviously for our last stream where we had a whale of a time. And I'm glad to have you here. The Canadian government gives illegals $3,000 immediately. They buy e-bikes and drive around all day. Disgusting. Are those the ones that are delivering off our food? I bought a gun in Canada. It was practically new, never fired, but dropped once. Kieran, you are a character who very much intrigues me. What do you do? Plow guys? I've never tried that. I've said this many times here. I wish I was gay. It sounds like such a better life. A lot of chat have massive blinders on. Cuba's advancement in medicine has nothing to do with how socialized medicine is distributed. I'll be honest with you, B. I'm completely ignorant to it. The only thing I know is that they have made enormous advancements in certain areas of science. Now, there's certain things that they're not capable of dealing with, but I've heard that certain streams or branches of cancer is one of them. You want a chick that can hang with the guys. I just want a chick that's chilled and isn't naggy and annoying. Every woman that I've been with has always managed to turn something that could be one sentence into about 500. And I can't fucking stand it. Gonna have to open the window now. It's getting a bit warm in here. Yes, better life with AIDS. Can you do dimensional analysis with math? I've got a test. You're barking up the wrong tree. I have no mathematical talent whatsoever. Autist, you know this already, yeah? I don't believe that lesbians are real. Lesbians are the only people that I don't understand. If there's no dick in the equation, there's confusion. That's because you like Asian women. You think Asian women are easy to deal with? Are you mental? Are there any mocklamizers on here? I don't know what the fuck. There's so much going on today. I don't know what the fuck is going on. To surrender one's own will and values and ethics to a seemingly superior force is just another form of cowardice. I'm not curbing what I say in public or private. Speak the truth or speak not at all. I completely agree with you. Bad MMA math, not dimensional math and math analysis. Sorry, yeah, you've got the wrong. This is why I took math out of the title. If you're looking for any kind of mathematical wizardry here, you're going to be very disappointed. I am mathematically retarded. Asian women are great. I prefer Japanese. Japanese people are weird. All lesbians use dildos. Exactly. That says it all. You can't get more confused and stupid than that. It's not the dick that they hate. It's apparently the men. I can't deal with people that are that delusional. I just can't do it. I turned my ex-wife into a living fuck buddy. No alimony, no child support by court. You should be running your own. You should be running your own channel, sir. That's all I can say. I mean, I've had a very simple relationship with women over the years. I'm a very simple creature. No strings is the only way I can do things these days. I can't live any other way. And I was saying this on my last live stream. The more honest you are about what you are, the more you'll get out of life. If you try to pretend to be something you're not, or you think you're pretending to be something that women want, you will never achieve anything, and it will only end in misery for you. How old are you, Mjolnir's Wrath, and where are you from, sir? I'm assuming you're an American, but shout out to you. You've brought some great levity to this chat, and I appreciate you for it. Kind of like a fleshlight for a dude. Those are never going to be a thing. I can tell you that now. Preach 100%. This is what we have to do. Gay guys naturally want vagina, so they screw a wet hole. Gay women need a shaft, so use cucumbers and stuff. Why don't they just take what they want? I 100% agree with that. I may sound a little bit zesty for saying this. I understand gay dudes. I do. This dude looks like Lex Friedman. I've been getting that quite a lot lately. I do not want vagina or all hole in Dan's sock. She thought it was her idea, and that's why it's so brilliant, sir. Smart guys use caution. With American feminist influence empowered women. This is why I cannot mess with women in the UK at all, and never have been able to. They're entitled dumb bitches that think they're men, and I can't stand them. Can we talk about the racist Indian other covers that bother white males all day at shopping centers? I told one off today. Is this a thing now? Is this a pandemic? I don't love gay people. I don't love Indian people. I don't love white people. I don't love black people. I like certain individual people. That's it. I don't like entirely groups. Anyone who says they like entire groups of people are lying to themselves. I like individuals for what they are. There are some black men that I hate. There are some Indian men that I hate, and vice versa. There are many that I love. I strictly deal with people on an individual basis, and that's all. How you doing, Suraj? Good to have you back, bro. Lovely to have you here. It must be very early in the morning for you, so shout out to you for being here. This is why I appreciate my Indian audience so much. They are, and I can call them an audience now because there are quite a few of you guys. I have tried to have sex with women. My brain is not wired to enjoy that. Autist, how does your family feel about your situation? Are you from like a very orthodox family, or are they quite comfortable with the situation? 44 in Arizona. Shout out to you, bro. We've got quite an eclectic mix of people here, and that's what I'm loving about this community more and more every day. Dude, who do you think you are? What a fucking retard. I've never claimed to be anything but a retard. I'm not here pretending to be some intellectual powerhouse, or that my opinion should be shared and agreed upon by everyone. And I don't give a fuck what you think, Jamie Bruce. I'm guessing Jamie Bruce is a dyke. That's why she's so upset. They have a saying that the West is a woman ready to receive. Come on over. Come on over, brown people. My huge Irish ass waiting for y'all with native rights. What's wrong with being gay? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing wrong with being gay at all. There's nothing wrong with being a lesbian either. I just don't really understand it. I don't get it. That's all I said. I have a gay member of my family. He's one of the most awesome people I've ever met. Oh, you're a guy. I didn't get that vibe, but okay, carry on. What has got you so upset today, Jamie Bruce? I'm assuming you've popped in at a certain moment and heard me reading a piece of chat, and you've assumed that it's either my rhetoric or I don't know. I would appreciate some. I mean, not that I really care, but I would appreciate some context to your vitriol here. Gays are actually needed badly. Why? Overpopulation problems. I've heard it's going in the opposite direction, though. Bonnie Blue is so disturbed. The OnlyFans has banned her for her own benefit. Her 2,000 men in one day event was not allowed. I don't know why anyone would sign up for something like that. Mine cooks my meals hot and ready when I get home. I give her an allowance for groceries, my coffee, my lunches, and breakfast. When she's in the mood, she strips down. I mean, that sounds awesome and everything, but it sounds like you're married, bro. I think she might be running game on you. Overpopulation is a lie. I think, if anything, we're going in the opposite trend now. Male gay relationships seem to last. I don't think the stats really back that up. I think relationships in general, no matter what the gender or sexuality are, have their problems because people stuck together on a consistent basis are going to end up falling out, in my opinion. I've heard there's an underpopulation problem now, and that the next generation are kind of not interested in having children anymore. I haven't really looked into the nuances of it too much to understand one way or another. But certainly the trend seems to be that fertility rates are down, and that we're going to suffer for that in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Yeah, man. What you've don't get me wrong, Mione, you sound like a fucking Chad. However, she lives with you, you give her money, she gives you sex, she makes your meals. You're married. Don't really. I mean, as long as you're happy, bro, that's all that matters. But that sounds like a run-of-the-mill marriage to me. Hell no, it's literally growing. But I don't think it's growing at the rate that it should be. I'm not even going to pretend like I understand it. I fact-checked multiple AIs. Check Grok and ChatGPT. Go now. Bonnie Blue already did 1,000 in one day. Lily Phillips wisely gave up at 100 in one day. I love how that's a wise decision in this current state of the society that we live in. Yeah, she only fucked 100 dudes in one day. And she looks like a genius. Your women have kids, just not with fellow countrymen. They open the gate and their legs for immigrants. It's very specific. Have you been hurt in the past, Boo Boo Scooby? Because you come in here with that kind of rhetoric all the time. Did you come home and find your wife in bed with somebody you consider an undesirable? Is that what you're angry about? AI can't even get the Terrence McKinney picture right. He shows up as Dan Hooker. Hello, what's the topic? Tanuki, to be honest, I've got no idea. It seems like we're generally beating on. It sounds like we're generally beating on females mostly at the moment, which happens quite a lot in here. Sure beats dating apps and dealing with crazy 304s. I mean, your situation sounds great. Don't get me wrong. If she's of the belief here that she's not in a committed relationship, but she's in one, and she's not being, what's the word? She's not acting like a typical annoying mouthy wife, then it sounds like to me that you're on a winner. If you've got an arrangement where you get the stuff done in the house that you want, you get that pussy served up whenever you want, but she feels like she's not wifey, so she can't absolutely blast your eardrums off, then you are doing extremely well. So shout out to you. That little slight adjustment to the situation might be what everybody. I'm the immigrant that she slept with. Shout out to you, Val Gursky. No, B, I was married faithfully for 13 years. She wasn't, but her plan and online affair turned out to be BS after she signed the divorce papers. So it was more of a emotional affair. Hmm. I think of the whole thing with cheating and affairs to me is not that. There was a time in my life when I was much younger and much more naive that I felt like that would be the end of the world. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't it's not something to get worked up about. And it sounds like you haven't. Mjolnir might be living in 2050, 100%. He looks like he's made one little adjustment to the game and it's working out for him. Women vote for abortion to end the pregnancies with their own kind, but go out of their way to have kids with lesser thans. You're definitely angry about something, boo boo. Might as well call them prostitution apps because all the women all want money. The thing is, Mjolnir, this is a thing as old as time though. It's like even back in the day when we had cavemen and cave women, right? The cavemen would go out and I don't know, club the mastodon or whatever, or reel home some fish, and they would trade that fish for a different kind of fish, a fish pie, if you would. So this has been the arrangement for thousands of years, and it's worked. Oh, married since 30 years, can't complain. So what's the problem people have? Well, Tanuki, we're not generalizing too much. I mean, we're trying not to. Everyone has their own personal situations and circumstances, and there are always going to be exceptions that prove the rule. I generally find that, you know, being married is generally is generally a bad deal for men in most situations. It wasn't for me, but I can understand why most men end up getting fucked over. You had your heart broken and became callous, Frank. It's definitely something to get angry about. No, here's the thing. I think when something like that happens, you can make a simple choice. You either say it's not that big a deal and you carry on just dealing with the situation, or you say that person's not for me and you just move on. I think being heartbroken by somebody who gets dicked down by somebody else is crazy. Hello, sir. How you doing, Burhan? Good to see you here. Yeah, I'm back. I was supposed to be here a couple of days ago, but couldn't be bothered. I'm angry we let it happen. We gave women too much power, and our societies are falling because of our selflessness. Well, this is. I'm assuming you live in a Western country, boo boo. I can't say that name without cringing. But yeah, boo boo. Um, that's why I don't fuck with Western women in general. In many cases, sex seems to be transactional. I'm going to tell you a secret, Michael. It's in all cases. Fish taco. Yeah, mixed martial artist. What happened to your relationship? The divorce rates are at least higher for gay marriages compared to straight and lesbian. I would say I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if they're statistically the same. Marriage in its very nature is very, very flawed for most people. I'm not saying for every single case. There's always going to be some out there where it's really beneficial to both parties and it works out great. You would have to say that most of them don't. Ethan, what do you think about Alex moving up to heavyweight? I think it's the only move at this point. And I don't hate it if he fights John Jones or Tom Aspinall. I'd rather he fought Tom Aspinall. But if I was him, I'd probably fight John Jones. It's the easier fight, and it has as much, if not more, legacy. But you should go for that third belt, though. If he's thinking to himself he can beat John Jones, then beat Tom Aspinall, I don't hate it. But by the way, like the streams, guys. Two men can't get married. Marriage is between a man, a woman, and God. Just a fact. I think marriage is a bad idea in general, though. And it's not because I don't believe in the love of two people. I just think when you add legality to anything that is supposed to be organic, I think problems come. And the thing is, when the problem with loving somebody intently is you can't hate somebody without having loved them first. And when something is as tense and loving as something, when that situation breaks down, the hate can be as destructive as the love was beautiful. And that's where you get left in a very horrible situations where money gets ripped from people, people aren't allowed to see their children. That's the problem that I have with it. And that's why I'm anti-marriage in general. I just think it creates monsters and monstrous situations. Women are not that different from men. We basically need the same. Tanuki, I'm going to have to disagree with you. Women are, they're different from us. I don't even feel like we're the same species most of the time. And I think you'd find that a lot of it's a beautiful sentiment you're coming out with. It's just total bollocks. Sorry. They are not, women aren't the same as us. I'm not saying we're better, even though we are. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Right. Marriage isn't about love, for fuck's sake. I fucking love you too, bro. No, I mean, people get married for a whole load of different reasons. If you're getting married purely for love, you're gonna get fucked. Really and truly, when you're thinking about getting married, there should be more to it than that. It should be a mutually beneficial situation on all levels. And that's ultimately what's very hard to find. I think that so many more people would be open to joining religion if they tried to look at things more objectively. In what sense? In what sense, mixed martial artist? Some religions accept gays. I mean, to be fair, like Christianity kind of has had to because the numbers are so down that they've got no choice at this point. Men are in love, women are in business. I don't think that's true either. I think you're oversimplifying. Tanuki, you've been brainwashed by liberal college professors. You smell like cabbage. It's funny how those two things often go hand in hand. But yeah, I think relationships are way more Scientology. Scientology is not a religion. I mean, I guess it is. Can you elaborate what is the problem with women? It depends on what you mean. I mean, if you're talking on more of a general level, I think the problem that I have with women is mostly that it comes from kind of the imbalance of what happens. And I'm mostly talking about women in a marriage situation. The imbalance between what happens between men and women when a marriage is over is stark. The thing that appalls me the most about the situation with marriage, and it still goes on in most Western societies, is you can have a marriage breakdown at no fault of the man. The man can be going to work doing his part in it, and a woman can decide to leave him and take everything from him, his money, and then he doesn't get the same rights to see his children, for example. And that fundamental thing to me is where a lot of the imbalances start. Because when a woman knows she holds that kind of power, she can take the fucking piss. And that's just where I feel like if the law changed on that overnight, we would see a difference in how women treat their marriages in general. But that's like a very general thing. Also, women are evil and weird. They're lizard brained. They don't think the same way as we do. Men, by our nature, we're very, very simple creatures. And women don't like that. I feel like I could get into I feel like I need to funnel this a little bit more directly because I'm going all over the place here. So I apologize for that. Impression of Jackson throwing a banana peel at the cop car behind him. Raja Jackson's got some problems, man. Tom Cruise is a great actor, except for his Scientology. Yeah, Tom Cruise is a pretty great actor. Scientology is very, very weird, though. It's a very, very weird institution altogether. If you don't have concrete evidence, say that I don't have concrete evidence like an adult. But what you describe as a political problem, not a problem with women. The lizard opinion I disagree with. All right. I'm finding it hard to rationalize my thoughts right now because I'm quite tired. How you doing? Welcome to you from Russia. Glad to have you here. Let's get back to MMA and talking about sweaty dudes pounding each other. I think that's why there's always the veneer of like homoeroticism floating over this chat. Because as much as we like to believe we are strong heterosexual males, the fact that we are so in love with a sport that is exactly as this gentleman has just described is part of the problem. Tom Cruise is a stuntman. He absolutely is. The thing is, if you go back over my channel throughout the last year, I've been able to rationalize quite well why I have issues with women to such a strong degree. And you're right. A lot of the issues that I'm talking about as at their fundamental level are political. However, There has to be a base for things to start somewhere. And I think when the very institution that ties us together, which is marriage, can be used to clobber one gender over another, I think that creates a systemic problem that runs very, very deep. I'll give you an example. Yeah, Bill Burr probably summed it up as best, yeah, when he says that women don't, and Gaz Ninja is saying this here, women react with emotion and not with logic. And that's a big problem. I am Irish. I'm Irish, but I grew up in England. We should all have one giant orgy with each other and find out how gay we are. Bring your wives. uh, that should be the I should change what the description is on my channel and just put that. Some say Tom Cruise should come out of the closet, South Park. I don't think Tom Cruise is gay, but John Travolta, I just think he's a weirdo. And I think the biggest problem with Tom Cruise is he's an egomaniac. And obviously everyone at Scientology is absolutely noshing his dick off. And that must be very, very hard to resist. You know, when someone's going on like you're the chosen one and you're basically their messiah, if you've got any kind of ego, that must be very, very difficult to not get sucked into. Are you Irish? Yeah, I am Irish, but I grew up in England, so I'm a very confused young man because we are very ideologically different. Pretty passive aggressive and gay comeback by you, Caravaggio. I want you two to get on because you two are two of my favorite subscribers. So I hope this doesn't lead to a serious falling out because I think you're both good for this community. But yeah, I mean, we can go. I think in terms of like the women thing, I think we should dedicate an entire stream to that because I feel like we're going all over the place. Good God, I thought I had a load of Switch games. How many do you have? I have almost 800. And I know that because I've got so many that I've had to catalog them. How many dick sucks do you think Tom Cruise gets at the Scientology HQ? What can you count to? Is my question. I mean, Jesus Christ. They are some wacky people. You kind of find out how much of a wacky religion it is whenever religion it is. When people manage to get away from it. I think it's better described as a cult. I respect Conor McGregor. I wish I could say the same. I'll be honest with you, Irish people are mostly embarrassed by him. 400, that's impressive as well, though. That is very impressive. Frank, I will respect your chat and stop. Now, Caravaggio, you can say whatever you want to. By the way, if you are gay, I don't care. More women for me, and that should be the attitude. We shouldn't be hating anybody's sexual preferences whatsoever. My name is Frankie, or actually Francis, but I go by Frankie on here. Yeah, let's go for a truce. I like that attitude. Well done, guys. Well done. I appreciate the love. So yeah, it's Frankie or Francis. I go for Frank is fine as well. I'm getting a message right now saying that my son is running a fever. So that means I'm gonna have to call it a day tonight. Unfortunately, a little bit early, but I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna do a pre-card like live stream like this where we'll just chat. Yeah, the only thing that's unacceptable is PDF files. That's the only thing we should be worried about. Sorry about the low energy one today. It's been a bit of my brain's been fucking melted all week. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow, fresh and ready to pop. Do you have any SNES games? Yeah, I've got. Hang on a second. I've got about 50 boxed, and some of them are sealed. Just to clarify this, yeah, I've got to handle the dad business thing. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. This one was all over the place, but sometimes it's more fun that way. I will say, oh, he's accepted your truce. I think he will. I'll be back. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow around the same time. We'll really get into it. Thank you very much. I wish I could pronounce your name. I'm pretty sure you're Russian. Sorry for the quick duck, but I'm gonna have to go take care of this. Much love to everyone. I'll see you tomorrow around the same time. If you wouldn't mind liking the stream before you head out, it'd be really appreciated. Thanks for getting into this with me. Really appreciate it. And there, Caravaggio accepts the truce. Guys, I'll see you later. Thanks as always for turning up. I hope you have a good rest of your week wherever you are. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the pre-UFC Rio de Janeiro card. We'll probably won't end up talking about UFC, but what does it matter? We'll all be here and we'll all be enjoying it together. I'll see you all soon. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you on the weekend. Bodhi, subscribe to the channel. I want to know about your collection because this very much interests me. Michael, it was a pleasure to meet you as well. Glad you guys truced it out before we head off. UK lady, have a nice day. Thanks for popping in. Who is your favorite rapper? Good grief. Fuck, that's a very hard question. I've got all kind of names bouncing into my head and I can't pick one out at the moment. I had Lupe Fiasco, Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. I like Tupac's music, but I wouldn't say I think he's an excellent rapper or anything. Anyway, sorry guys. Take it easy. I'll catch you all soon. See you tomorrow. Peace.